Fade in on a shot of Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Washington. Narrator: Secretary of State Antony Blinken has made a forceful call for accountability in the aftermath of the devastating two-year war between Ethiopia and Eritrea. Cut to a shot of a few people talking animatedly to Blinken. Narrator: After visiting Addis Ababa, Blinken returned to Washington and declared that his State Department had conducted a careful review of the law and facts, and had concluded that war crimes and crimes against humanity had been committed by federal troops from both Ethiopia and Eritrea, as well as by the rebel Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, and forces from the neighboring Amhara region. Cut to a shot of Blinken delivering his statement. Blinken: We urge the government of Ethiopia and the government of Eritrea as well as the TPLF to hold those responsible for these atrocities accountable. Cut to a shot of a crowded street in Addis Ababa. Narrator: During his visit to Addis Ababa, Blinken held an unusually long meeting with Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and spoke separately with senior TPLF leader Getachew Reda. He did not directly mention war crimes or crimes against humanity while there. Cut to a shot of Blinken adjusting his tie before continuing to deliver his statement. Blinken: Many of these actions were not random or a mere byproduct of war. They were calculated and deliberate. Men, women and children were killed. Women and girls were subject to horrific forms of sexual violence. Thousands were forcibly displaced from their homes. Entire communities were specifically targeted based on their ethnicity. Cut to a shot of Blinken shaking hands with Prime Minister Abiy. Narrator: The conflict began in November 2020, when the TPLF attacked military installations in the region, triggering a major counteroffensive. But when Blinken spoke up concerning crimes against humanity during the war, Prime Minister Abiy voiced his anger. He even rejected UN-led efforts for an investigation. Cut to a shot of Senator Jim Risch speaking. Senator Jim Risch: The administration's inaction undermined the U.S. response to the world's deadliest conflict in recent memory, particularly related to atrocities committed in Tigray. Cut to a shot of Blinken continuing his remarks. Narrator: After his visit to Addis Ababa, Blinken imposed sanctions on Eritrea and booted Ethiopia from a major trade pact in order to hold the warring parties accountable. However, some on Capitol Hill think the Biden administration should have taken greater action. Cut to a shot of a person holding a small flower. Narrator: The toll of this conflict is estimated to be around 500,000 people, making it one of the deadliest wars of the 21st century. In the wake of this tragedy, Secretary of State Blinken has called for swift collective action in order to ensure that those responsible for the atrocities face justice.